NASCAR was thought of as a bunch of rednecks. Hey, man, what's going on? Come on down here. And Saturday Night Live made fun of us with Jeff Gordon years ago. And that's fair. So if people have a twang, have an accent, then say whatever you want to say. But I can tell you, we're bad here too, because in Missouri we go, hey, let's go out Highway 45, and we got our own accents, so we got to be careful making fun of other people. But NASCAR was started in the South, in literally Daytona Beach, Florida. So that's where NASCAR was invented. But as we know, Florida, the land is kind of a peninsula. So really it got going up around North South Carolina. The more that NASCAR got going, they realized that they were growing. And like you said, all of a sudden, in the 70s, they're racing in Michigan, 50, 60 miles, west of Detroit. Now all of a sudden, NASCAR got really going, and then all of a sudden, in the 70s also, they ventured across the Mississippi River, gateway to the west. And believe it or not, NASCAR went all the way out to right around Ontario, California, just a little bit outside of L.A., to Riverside. So NASCAR has been out on the West Coast since the 70s, racing road courses in Riverside, California. But, and this is the end, about 15, 17 years ago, NASCAR went nuts. They built Fontana, California. They started running, more races at Phoenix, Vegas, Texas. So now NASCAR is basically throughout the whole United States. And they tried doing something in the Northwest. That hasn't happened. They tried building the track, around Manhattan, around New York. That didn't happen. But, that's the history of NASCAR, starting in Florida, going up, the coast there, and where we are today.
Yeah, I should probably know this. I'm a little behind on my NASCAR reading, but when they started going to Vegas, started going to Phoenix, did they take a race away from Darlington or Martinsville? Did they have to go to Bristol and say, I'm sorry? Or did they just expand the schedule as they went west?
So we don't have enough time to explain all, so I'll speed up. They took races away. Actually, it was Bruton Smith that owns Bristol Motor Speedway, owns Sonoma, the road course out there. That's another one I forgot to mention. But Bruton Smith, he bought North Wilkesboro, shut it down. He bought Loudon, New Hampshire, and took one race from them. Took one race from Darlington. The thought was, okay, we are not going to run any more than 36 races. Because we're crazy. I mean, we start racing middle of February, and we end a week before Thanksgiving. So we are horribly long. We race too much. And I like what Dale Earnhardt Jr. said. He said, football's got it perfect. 16 games, and it's over before you know it, and it leaves you wanting for more. And I believe that's one reason football is so popular, because the season's so short.
Kenny Wallace with us, Tuesdays with Kenny, and a loyal listener, also a photographer at Fox 2, Mike Border, said, please tell Kenny I'm from Fairbury, Illinois. Last summer he was there and took a picture with my daughter, always in great spirits, always fun with the fans. And Fairbury, one of those great spots, dirt track, I'm assuming, up there. This is where you really connect with the people.
Yeah, well, thanks. Fairbury is legendary. It's about not quite 4 hours from here. They call it Falls. It's an American Legion. It means Fairbury is one of the only racetracks in the United States and quite possibly the world where everybody works for free. It's all people that just want to give their time. A big story this year with Fairbury. They're paying the most money to win in the United States on a weekly basis. So, they are doing a tremendous job up there. What that means here, let me put it into perspective. If you win a race for my series at Granite City or Peebly, you get $700 to win. They're going to pay $1,500 to win on a weekly basis up there at Fairbury, and it's just a neat, nice, clean little country town, and it has made news throughout the United States because they had a wealthy man come in and say, hey, I want to put up some money, but also the crowds are really good. So Fairbury is on everybody's radar. It's got some of the biggest races in the United States, and I had one hell of a race there last year. So, a shout out to him, and thanks for texting or tweeting. How did you get that, man?
He texted directly into the Martin inbox here.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah. I wanted to ask you this, and I should also know, I'm a little behind on my NASCAR reading, but who's the better Busch, Kurt or Kyle?
Wow, that's a toss-up. Kurt was the worst for a while, absolutely out of control, crazy. Told Roger Penske, I mean, Kurt was crazy. Now, let me say this. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch are some of the most talented race car drivers in the world. I'm saying the world. And here's why. Kurt Busch went to Indy his very first time. Went and ran the Indianapolis 500 his very first time and finished like sixth. I'm telling you, my friends, that's talent. So he's good. But all the Busch brothers are highly, highly crazy. And what that means is they don't tolerate running badly well at all. So Kyle Busch is dominating right now. And after the race, Kyle Busch on Sunday, Kyle Busch dominated. He won on Saturday, won on Sunday. He swept. And in his interview, although he was happy, Kyle Busch, the brother of Kurt, said, I'm a little disappointed. I'm glad we swept this week, but, I wish we would have swept last week. So they're both about the same, but nowadays Kurt has calmed down. He's got a great marriage. So I would say, they're both equally crazy, but I'd say Kyle is the crazier one right now.
Crazier one. I just, as a driver, too, and Kyle's had a lot of success, I didn't know who was considered the better driver of the two.
So question then, Kenny, on the crazy scale of 1 to 10, where are they, and then where do you fall?
Well, that's easy. They here. I'm saying this nice because I know this could be clipped. Here it happens to me. They clip this, and then they will use it throughout the internet. So, and listen, it's happened to me before.
Out of context, yes.
About a month ago, I said my brother Rusty was very self-centered, right? But I meant that in context. In other words, great athletes are very self-centered. So I said that on your show, and a little bit later, Kenny Schrader calls me. He's driving up from Florida. He goes, man, I heard you say your brother was self-centered. I said, in context, Schrader. So when I answer these questions, my local friends will start going on Facebook. So let me just say this, and I'll say it right. First of all, I'm crazy, right? I was born off-centered, hyperactive. So I've talked badly about me, so there you go. That's that. I would say that a lot of my craziness is planned out. In other words, let's have fun. I'm going to say something provocative. The Busch brothers, they just go, and then they go, oh my God, later on. They're in real crazy. I like to have fun. Let's put it that way.
How about Kenny Schrader either monitoring this year's show, maybe listening on the 590 app, or hearing from others what Kenny said on his Tuesday visit here? I'm impressed that Kenny Schrader is probably eating some M&Ms and tracking all things 590. Kenny, great to talk to you. Have a great week.
All right, go Blues. We can do this without Tarasenko. We just got Thomas is hot. I think he'll pick it up, and so go Blues.
How about that hockey guy? Kenny Wallace on the way out. That's our fault. We didn't bring up the Blues. That's our fault.
LGB, baby.